Is Spinoza's doubt about Mosaic authorship valid? The law written on stones. Spinoza argued that Moses could not have written the Pentateuch. One of his key arguments is based on Deuteronomy 27:8. You shall write on the stones all the words of this law very clearly. Spinoza claimed that the entire book of Moses, containing over 600 laws, could never have been inscribed on the limited surface of a single altar. The sheer volume of legislation makes it physically impossible. From this, he reasoned that these laws could not have existed in Moses' time in written form. He concluded in Tractatus Theologico-Politicus chapter 8. Thus, from the foregoing, it is clear beyond a shadow of doubt that the Pentateuch was not written by Moses, but by someone who lived many generations after Moses. He believed the Pentateuch is a work of many authors. Spinoza believed that during Moses' lifetime, only a few laws existed, and that the majority were added later, after his death. Let's take a closer look at the account of Deuteronomy 27. In Deuteronomy 27, Moses commanded the Israelites that when they entered the promised land, they were to build an altar and write the law on the stones. When they finally entered the land, Joshua built the altar and wrote the law on the stones. However, this was not the first time the law was written on stone. When Moses went up Mount Sinai, he received the 10 Commandments on 2 stone tablets. Notice what Exodus 24:12 says. Now the Lord said to Moses, Come up to me on the mountain and stay there, and I will give you the stone tablets with the law and the commandment which I have written for their instruction. Here, the 10 Commandments written on the stone tablets are referred to as the law. This established a pattern. Only the 10 Commandments, the core of the covenant, were written and were to be inscribed on stone, because the 10 Commandments formed the fundamental legal foundation of Israel's covenant with God. Therefore, in Deuteronomy 27, Moses specifically alluded to inscribing the original laws on stones, namely the 10 Commandments, rather than the entire collection of 613 laws. In Deuteronomy 27:8, the instruction, You shall write on the stones all the words of this law very clearly refers to 10 Commandments. These were the basic part of the law. This act was meant to serve as a public declaration and reminder of their commitment to following the laws prescribed by God. This argument of Spinoza does not prove that the more than 600 laws did not exist in Moses' time. Spinoza's argument does not negate the authorship of Moses.